Yo, everybody, the way King Dingbat here, and welcome to the podcast with no name. And my man Joey Shakes 72 is here, my partner in crime. What's going on with you, Joey? How you doing, buddy?
Not much, man. It's been a pretty quiet day today, but I'm excited. Second episode of the podcast with no name, as you said before. So, excited to see where this is going.
That's right. So far, no name. And I see a lot of people in here. Big Play Slay, Brandon, Young Money, Eagles Champ, Christening, Talk Sports with Landon, Cameron Holmes, Miraju, a lot of you guys, David, Scotty. If I'm missing some of the guys, LB's here. What's up, my man? I just saw your video of the next draft board selection. I love it. Chris Clement, thank you so much for the super sticker right off the bat. I appreciate it, man. And what's up, everybody? This is our second episode, but we are yet to have a name, and the contest continues. We've got a lot of good names out there, a lot of stuff, like mother humpers, stuff like that. Even better stuff, really. But we're excited about it, and we got about another week, Joey, before we make our selection. So keep pumping those names out, no question about it. And yeah, you're right. It's been quiet. It's been quiet for the Eagles. It's been really crazy for me. It's been a crazy week. I'm moving this weekend, so I've been out of touch with what's going on today. I haven't even had my cell phone on with me. So, anyways, Joey, anything interesting happening with the Eagles as of today or anything? Fill me in. Give me the latest updates.
So I've been looking at today, and obviously it was quiet today. There really wasn't anything out, guys. So obviously the news is very thin, but obviously coming next week, we'll probably have more news on what's going on. But I think the most you'll see in a second. But
my man,
by next week, obviously more rumors will come out, more news will come out. So by next Saturday, when we have the third episode of the podcast and the name of the podcast, we'll be able to probably put out a little bit more. And the only news I can see right now is from the other day of a report coming out that the Eagles are interested to move back in the top 10.
Yep. Yeah, that is something very interesting, and we definitely got to get into it. Eagle Slayer, man, thank you so much for the super chat, my man. Shout out to you. He says, let's do this, boys. Appreciate that, man. Thank you for the super chat. Zeke fans here, Harry Poole, Karish. He says, Philly Shakes, Joey. Philly Shakes, Joey. Sounds like a crime.
Yes.
And of course, here he is. Jason Kelsey. Thank you for the super chat. I love that. I don't know how he got that picture. My wife was cracking up when I showed her. She's like, I don't even remember your hair like that. I go, I'm married to you, right? Jason Kelsey, thank you so much, man. He says, yo, what's up, Philly and Joey? Loving the podcast. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that, man. I see Sugar Tits is here. What's up, Sugar Tits? What's up, man? How are you? He said one time, he said to me, I had to change my name because I had to go to church or something. It was funny. Oh, man. Nathan Rizzo, man. Thank you so much. And welcome to Dingbat Nation, buddy. Welcome to Dingbat Nation. Let's get you a mod. There's your wrench.
By the way, Nathan Rizzo is a very loyal subscriber on my channel as well, awesome. And is a member as well. So
awesome, man! Thank you, buddy. Shout out to you. Members get a wrench, and I only have 3 rules with the wrench: no racist stuff, no threatening to hurt somebody or violence, and no spam. Other than that, talk your crap, baby. Talk your crap. Now, Joey, I do want to get into this whole thing with the trading up back into the top 10 again, right? Because a lot of the reaction I saw in my video, and I don't know about you, but a lot of people were talking about, like, why would you trade out of the top 10 only to try to trade back into the top 10? And I gotta say, I understand that. Me personally, I wouldn't have moved from 6. However, if you have an opportunity to get to like 7, 8, or 9, right, to get a guy, and you could trade up and draft that guy and still keep the first round pick that was given to you. Not the 12th pick you're picking, but the pick the following year by the Miami Dolphins. You essentially moved a couple spots back and got a first round pick the following year. So to me, there is value in that. And look, nobody's going to be able to charge more for the 8th pick or the 9th pick than what the Eagles gave up for the 6th or received for the 6th pick. Essentially, Howie Roseman in Howie Vision has kind of set up his own market. That's how I kind of see it.
Yeah, I think we moved back from 6 to 12, I think there was maybe an offer on the table. There was probably something they couldn't pass up, which was getting Miami's first round pick. So since you're not moving really that far back, from 6 to 12, obviously we know about, drafting Jamar Chase and we were kind of set up to draft that guy in the first round at 6. I think it was inevitable, but obviously, we moved back. So, to get that first round pick, you potentially could have 3 first round picks for next year, which sets up, this is more of a future move, but could give you leverage for this draft as well, because obviously I don't think we're using 3 first round picks for the 2022 NFL draft. It's not going to happen, but I think they said, let's go back to 12. I think we can get a reliable player at 12. Someone will drop to us, but since this new news is coming out about them moving up in the top 10, I honestly think that, it's obviously not for a quarterback, because I think if they were going after a quarterback, I think they would have stayed at 6 and not kind of rewind back and move back up, then move back down again. So I think, this is, if they do this on draft night, whether they make a trade before the draft or on draft night, plus obviously with Zach Ertz kind of being out there as well, you can kind of have some leverage with that as a trade chip. The Eagles moving up in the top 10 shows me that they could be going after an offensive playmaker in this draft. 100%.
Yeah. Well, they've had habits in the past where when they kind of lean one way in free agency, they kind of go the opposite way in the draft, So they could. If Frank says, I think the offense is closer than the defense, that's why I think we go for Surtain or Horn. Frank, my man, what's up, man? Shout out to you. I would say this. In my opinion, that's fine as long as those guys are your highest rated guy on the board. I want the Eagles to be honest to their board. So basically, I don't want them to say, well, we're closer offensively, and we have Devontae Smith and Waddle, our best 2 players on the board, but we're gonna go Horn or Surtain just because we need defense. I think that would be a mistake.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think they have to go by their board, the best player available, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I understand saying about the offense. I think more people think the offense is more set than the defense, obviously, because, offensively, we have some receivers on this, we have receivers on this roster right now that really haven't hit their ceiling yet. And there's so much more. Obviously, we have to blame the coaching staff for putting it, having that veteran, putting back these veterans in last year and kind of blocking off and stinting off these young receivers that could have done so much more. So definitely understandable.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, I understand. And look, if you draft Horn, Surtain, even I would say Slater, Devontae Smith, Waddle, Pitts, Chase falls, something like that. Any of those guys, I'm not going to complain. I can't complain. There's only one pick that I'm going to lose my mind. Well, 2, a quarterback or a defensive lineman. If they go like Kwity Paye, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be pissed. I don't think those guys. I don't think Kwity Paye. I don't think he's top 12. I just don't, Now, with the Giants, there's a lot of rumors that they want a defensive lineman. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. Chris Clement, thank you once again for the super sticker, my man. I appreciate it. Joey, you're right, though, because if you have 3 first-round picks next year, the chances that they use all 3 is probably slim to none. So they're most likely going to either trade one of those this year or trade one of those next year and then get one the following year. I personally say if you can't get up to like 8 or 9, then I want to come back up at the end of the end of first round. I want to take that 12th pick and then I want to come back up and get somebody else like a JOK, somebody, whoever it is, what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think you have to the furthest you can move up in this draft is probably to 8 or 9, depending if we kind of fleece the team moving up. But either Carolina's pick or maybe moving up to Denver's pick would probably be the most realistic, where maybe you give up a 3rd, maybe you give up that first next year, or if you could get away with a couple mid-round picks, you never know at this point. Or, maybe you have to put in that 2nd-round pick. I don't know how they're going to do it. Yeah. But there are some spots there. Spots there that can go.
No, I hear you. Albert says 500. Weren't you going to do a live stream with Mark today? Yeah, I wanted to, but I literally been moving all day long. It's been a long day, long couple days, and then tomorrow is the real big move. So I just haven't had a chance. I mean, I just got back right before this started, and I'm not even finished tonight probably. So But I'll get Mark Holmes on at some point. No doubt about it, because we got to do battle. I want to double moonwalk his ass. You know what I mean? Spunky 1991, one of the greats, one of the old time G's, man. When I first started, Spunky was always there. Great video maker too, man. Shout out to Spunky. Thank you for super chat, man. He says, I would pay good money for a Philly 500 song parody album. Can we get the Bad Dog Entertainer songs? I mean, I'll sing. I'll give you the Bad Dog song. Bad Dog is a mad dog, cause he knows the Giants always stink. They trade Odell Beckham, draft Daniel Jones. They stink and stink. The entertainer knows that Dolphin love is taboo. The entertainer knows that his hammer makes it true. The entertainer knows that the Giants always stink. I'm done.
That's a long one.
That's a long song. I can't even remember the words half the time. But thank you, Spunky. There's your little concert. I have no more music in me. I'm done. But hey, look, people like the music. What can you say? It's crazy. But we better have Bad Dog be a Mad Dog this year. I don't need the Giants being good, I do find it interesting that the Giants may go defensive line here. I do think that's interesting. They do need a defensive lineman. I just don't know I don't believe Rousseau, the other Miami Dolphin is slipping my name right now. And then Kwity Paye. I don't believe they're worth a top 12 pick. I just don't, But if they take Kwity Paye, then Howie Roseman can't take them. So that I'll be very happy about that. What do you think? Like I know you don't want to do a whole mock draft here, but how do you kind of see maybe the top 5 going? Like do you think we're going to get a situation where a Jamar Chase or Kyle Pitts could get to 8 or something like that?
I think Kyle Pitts can move past 5. I think there's more of a chance than Jamar Chase moving up. I think Jamar Chase will get taken within 5, definitely. So,
right.
With Kyle Pitts, I think there's more of a chance. It's going to be really hard to just really how this draft board goes to see if some of these other teams are going to move up for quarterbacks as well. I think that's where it's gonna come in as well. I know the Patriots might want to move up for a quarterback, but I don't know how far they want to move up. They might give away a first round pick, because I think the Patriots are second in the league with the most picks. I think they have 10 picks or something this year.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, but I think more likely Kyle Pitts could move out of top 5. So the Eagles could kind of go up and kind of snag him if they can. But with Jamar Chase, I don't think there's any chance. But who knows at this point? You know what I mean?
It's still hard for me to believe that he could go to Cincinnati. I just would think after Burrow gets hurt, that there's no way you don't take Penny Sewell right there. It's hard for me to believe that, but it could happen, and Detroit's another team. It's interesting. If you get a Justin Fields or somebody, if they're at 7, I think they could very well go quarterback. They could also go. Some people think they won't go Pitts because they drafted a tight end last year, but I think Pitts is one of those guys that you can't worry about that. You just take the best guy. So I don't know, but man, if we could land Jamar Chase or Pitts, it would be unbelievable.
I've had Detroit going after Parsons as well. I've seen him linked to them as well multiple times.
Yeah, that's interesting. We got 234 people here. Thank you so much for being here. Please please subscribe if you're new to the channel, and make sure you click the link in the description and sub up my guy, Joey Shakes. He is the man. This is going to be a very, very interesting draft. What did you think about the whole, there's a lot of stories coming out, and it's been really all off season with the Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie interfering. What do you make of all this stuff? Personally, what do you think what the hell's going on, Joey?
I think everybody's worried that Howie Roseman still has 100% of control of this draft, and I did a stream on Thursday, and I kind of was talking about, the Eagles need to, and I know you agree with this too. The Eagles need, we can't do this every year to where we're trying to figure out if Howie is doing the right thing by the decisions he's making, but they need to figure out a drafting formula so you don't have to worry about who has control of these draft picks.
Yeah.
I think what was interesting, Trey Burton actually had a video out on Twitter talking about when he left the Eagles, just the front offices, how it was different in Chicago and with the Colts as well, and saying that, nothing gets past Howie Roseman in this office at all whatsoever. Yeah. Going to the Colts in Chicago, he said, like, the GM knew about trades, but he didn't have, like, he talked about things with the front office, but and the coaching staff, but he didn't, like, make the final say. So I'm hoping, and I think you agree with this, that Nick Sirianni is in Howie's ear, and really kind of changing the way. And I don't know if Jeffrey Lurie's got to sit back and say, after this Super Bowl, the past few years, like, why aren't my draft picks producing? Why are we letting go of players that are producing somewhere else? Why are we restructuring so many contracts every year? Like, these are the questions you have to take into account when you're looking at all this. So what I'm hoping is that Nick Sirianni just, he seems so happy to be there. Like, there's something there. Like, he seems so excited and happy to be there. So there's got to be some collaborative effort between him and Howie Roseman in this draft. It just makes no sense to me that he's this, like, with Doug, he seemed like, you know what I mean? Like, he was just PR answers and, kind of just went through the motions. But with Nick Sirianni, I feel like that he's collaborating with Howie in this draft, and they're kind of working together a little bit. And I think that's what Jeffrey Lurie wanted. So that's what I'm hoping that's happening now.
I hope so. I mean, I feel like if you approach Howie Roseman and you say, I think we need this, or we need to do this, or we need to do that, he seems like the type of guy that doesn't care. He's going to do what he wants to do. However, if you can make Howie Roseman believe that he is thinking of the idea, like, if you could get him excited and to buy into something without saying, hey, you should do this, I think that's the best way to get to him. That's how he comes off to me. Okay, that's the impression I get with him. Nick Sirianni, just by the way he talks about, like, route runners or this or that, he gets you excited about it. He gets you to buy in. I think he's a salesman. I think that it's going to be, if there's any personality that is going to work for Howie Roseman, I think it's him. I think it's from what I've seen. So I have actually some hope that we're going to do the right thing this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you figure out this formula, then you're not going to have to worry about free agency. You're not going to have to worry about not having money. You're going to be over the cap, and you have to restructure so many contracts. Not even just that, but it's going to help them get players that want to play in the in a Philadelphia Eagles uniform, because how many players want to come here? Like, what, I mean, and see how much of a mess this team is right now. How many, luckily we've gotten a couple free agents that could be potential steals, and obviously with no money, you're working a lot slower, and you're being more strategic and being smart with the money you do have. Right. So that's another thing you have to look at.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I will say, though, the one disturbing thing is the whole analytics, how they base everything on analytics. And that's pretty much all they go on. Those kind of things make you draft the umbrella man. All right. That's how you draft JJ Arcega-Whiteside. I like analytics, I think, are okay if it's used in a combination of other things, but you can never take away, from the human element of noticing talent, seeing what somebody is, their strengths, their weaknesses in terms of how much heart they have. Analytics aren't going to measure heart. It's not going to measure those kind of things. So I think they need to get off of this whole analytic thing.
And that's why with the draft too, like, the draft from 15 to 20 years ago, it's a lot different now, because now, like, they're being too, like, draft analysis people or just scouts from each NFL team are being too picky. Like, the guy's hands aren't big enough. His arm length's not big enough. If the guy can play football, the guy can play football at the end of the day, whether his size, whether how short his arms are, whatever it is. But that's the one thing they need to stop doing as well, because that's hurting teams getting potential great talents.
Oh, I totally agree. Totally agree. Born Sinner says, I'm tired of the Eagles not really developing or keeping players healthy. What is your opinion about it? It's very interesting, because I do think there's an issue with them developing talent. Under Chip Kelly, they didn't get hurt that much. Under Doug, they have. I mean, they've changed like 3 different team doctors over the last few years. I don't know. Maybe some of it is because you have older guys on your roster. I don't know. You got any opinion on that whole thing?
I'm hoping that Doug brought the injury bug with him, because every year it's just gotten worse. I mean, we've at one point, guys, have had over 13 players on IR. I mean, that's 14 offensive line changes. I mean, you lose your secondary. You're pretty much down to nobody. And then you have to rely. This is why you got to stop relying, especially defensively. You got to stop relying on a pass rush. You got to stop putting money into that defensive line. I'm not saying stop putting money into it altogether, but I'm not happy about this defensive line right now with a few guys. Right. It changing the medical staff and hopefully fourth time's the charm. I mean, is it what they're doing with, how they, after games, or what are they drinking, the diets they're on? Like, what do they have them doing after these games to replenish their strength and to heal a lot quicker? So that's where it comes to account right there.
No, it's true. Demarion Hicks says, Philly, did you see the report? It said the pressure on Howie more than ever, his job isn't secure. I didn't see that report, but I that's music to my ears. What about you? Did you see that report?
No, nothing. Saw nothing on that.
Oh man! And if I'm missing some of these, I apologize. It's every time I use StreamYard, I'm even more delayed than normal. So I appreciate that. Spunky, man, shout out to you, man. Thank you so much for super chat. He says top 5 most important positions you guys feel should be addressed in this draft. I appreciate the super chat, Spunky. Thank you. I would say this, the way I'm looking at it, especially within the first round, I just think the Eagles need top-end talent. I don't think they have those franchise-building guys, those young talent guys on their roster. Maybe a few guys here or there. So I would say at my first thing is just top-end talent, And then obviously I think you need another corner, or probably you need another linebacker more than anything. You need a cornerback. You need a wide receiver. You do need defensive line help, and I think you need interior line help. Yeah, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think we know what we need, but the issue is we need to let this coaching staff develop. We need to see what we have. I don't think we know what we have. I don't think last year we could find out what we have, because even you take a position just by example, like linebacker, Davion Taylor from the 3rd round last year, just all these guys that we have that really never had a chance, that were either put in late in the season or the evaluation during training camp was just horrible. I understand the COVID and everything like that, but every team dealt with the same offseason, and why the Eagles have suffered because of it, I have no idea, but we need to let if Howie has a good draft, we need to let these coaches, and I don't want the blame put on Howie. If Howie actually drafts good players, just say he drafts at least 3 or 4 players that could potentially be really good pieces, and your coaching staff does nothing with these talents, then that's the problem. And I think we just have to let the coaching staff develop, see what we have this year, find those building block pieces for after the 2021 season. Get rid of who you don't want anymore. No. And then, you got 3 first-round picks potentially next year. You have time to rebuild. You could compete by next year or the year after that if they do the right thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. If they do the right things and they hit, they definitely can. No doubt about it. Tortyville says, Lurie won't fire Howie. He just can't do it. There's a better chance that Howie becomes the next host of Jeopardy than getting fired by Lurie. Oh, my God, I got a text. Howie Roseman to become the next host of Jeopardy. What do you know?
Damn.
Here's I have this weird little thought in my mind. I'm a conspiracy theorist at heart, right? And Howie Roseman has survived Andy Reid, Chip Kelly, Doug Peterson. He's always surviving when somebody gets fired, right? And it's always funny how right before somebody gets fired or something, the blame goes on to that person. You start hearing different things and different leaks about that person, and then all of a sudden they get fired. What if Howie Roseman is leaking out stuff on Jeffrey Lurie because he has no more excuses. He has no more excuses after this. So he's trying to position himself to get another job somewhere by leaking all this stuff on Jeffrey Lurie. Yep. Just so I can't help but have that weird thought. You know what I mean?
Yeah, even when the introductory press conference from Nick Sirianni, even that whole intro that Jeffrey Lurie had, that made no sense. He talked so much good things. He talked so many good things about Howie Roseman. Even watching that live chat, everyone's just saying fire Howie. Like, I don't know what's going on. I think after this year, his contract is up, so it's going to show a lot what Jeffrey Lurie has to do with this whole thing. So it should tell.
Yo-Yo says, I love Nate Gary. Oh my God, Chris, the entertainer doesn't that guy look like a guy that's been banned from SeaWorld?
SeaWorld.
Paul, he loves him. Yeah, I can't. Hey, good luck with Nate Gary, but he's never had the makings of a varsity athlete, in my opinion. Joseph Vega, my man, shout out to you. He says 500. Hey, Eagles move up to 7 to take Chase or Smith. Maybe. I mean, what do you think it would cost for them to get up to 7? If they gave up what they gave up for 6, what would it cost for 7?
A third this year, and maybe like a second round pick next year, maybe. I don't think you'll have to give up a first. I don't see it. I don't see it.
I mean, no team can ask to give up more than what the Eagles received from Miami. So to me, maybe you give up maybe at 7 you have to give up a first round pick, but at 8 you're not. It's like if the Eagles could get to 8 or 9, let's say, and I say 8 because I think that's a prime target, you're still going to keep that first round pick that Miami gave you. You're not going to pick 12 this year, but that 2022 pick you'll have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Spunky, my man, shout out to you, man. He says, oh, hell no. Howie Roseman would screw up Jeopardy as well. That's true. He potentially could. No question about it. Thank you so much, Spunky, for super chat, man. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Dylan Russell, he says, Rocha-Raid. Shout out to Rocha, man. Rocha's my guy. He does a lot of basketball, football, all those kind of things. He's a 49er fan, but nobody's perfect. Shout out to Rocha, man. I'll take the Rocha-Raid. Thank you so much for joining. Please like, please subscribe, and shout out to Rocha. And if you guys haven't, go sub him up. Rocha's a great guy. He's great. He's a little crazy, but he's great. He's great. I like him. Thank you guys for the raid, man. We appreciate it. 292 people here. Please like, please subscribe, and make sure you click the link in the description and sub up Joey Shakes. No doubt about it. Let's see here. Bears Talking More says, what if Philly draft a quarterback? Philly, what do you do? I break the wall. I flip out. I can't believe the Eagles would take a quarterback. And that's another interesting thing that keeps coming up, and we've talked about this. But this Deshaun Watson stuff will not die. It will not die.
How long are they willing to wait? Like, how long are they willing to wait right before the season starts? I mean, to get the trade for cheap compensation. I mean, what are they waiting for? Like, I think this is legit. I think they're really looking at it.
I mean, there's a lot of smoke there, man. I mean, it's like, and it's always coming from somebody else. It's very interesting. I don't know what to make of it. Nitro Freak, man, thank you for the super chat. He says, my guys, this week's going to be a treat. Go Birds. Nitro Freak, thank you for the super chat, man. I hear you're tearing up people on YouTube here. You're pissing the world off. I heard, huh? I heard it. That's all right. That's what you do. You be you, buddy. You be you. Although the Sixers, they got a shot. But, hey, what do I know? You know what I mean? Eagle Slayer, man, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, Eagles select Rocha-Raid at 12. I love it. Great pick. Best pick Howie's made. You can't go wrong with Rocha. You know what I mean? Man, these are coming fast and furious. Spunky 1991, man, thank you so much for the super chat. Expectations for Eagles, Jalen Hurts in 2021. My thoughts are this. I think they compete for the NFC East. I think he's going to be better than most people think he's going to be. The question is will he be a guy that you can build your franchise around? That I don't know. What do you say?
Yeah, I think they just got to see. I think he just, let him work in this offseason with all these players and let him have an offseason. And we're going to have a normal offseason with this team this year, which would be really great. And we just got to see what he does. It really all starts with him at the end of the day. Like at the start of the season, it all starts with him. And then, we kind of see, regardless of what happens, I know he's working his tail off. He's doing the best that he possibly can, and I think he's he's got a really strong. He mentally he's very strong, and I think he's not going to hear any outside noise. He's just going to put his head down and play and be the best quarterback he could be. So that's what I'm hoping for. And if he doesn't, then at least we're not, because if you don't give him a chance, then we don't want to go through the season. Just say he doesn't start, he's a backup or something. And we're going to say, what if he started? What if he was our quarterback this year? I don't want those what ifs. I want to at least have some evaluation for 2021. And then we already kind of know, and they already have our answers. So,
yeah. Well, and the other thing is people will say, like, I'll get comments where they're like, we should draft a quarterback, in the first round, then he can compete with Jalen Hurts. If you draft a quarterback at the top 12, you're not drafting him to compete. That is your starting quarterback of the future. That's why you draft him. So I don't think that would be fair to Jalen Hurts. But I do wonder, like, when Jalen Hurts hears all this stuff, all this noise. I mean, it may not bother him, but he's got to wonder, like, what the hell are they doing, right? I mean, like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. The Deshaun Watson reports, we tried to trade up for Zach Wilson. Like, these are all, like, crazy things, Yeah. I don't know. But it is what it is, Here's a question. Shakes, would you guys move up to 7 or 8 or stay at 12? What would you prefer, Joey?
I would love to move up to 7 or 8. I mean, look, we have extra draft picks. I mean, if you're trying to get a dominant player from the draft that's going to help your football team out by a mile, then go do it. I mean, whatever it costs at this point. If you have to give up, I don't think with 7 or 8 you're going to have to give up a first round pick. That's just me.
Right.
Even when you look at that trade from Miami for the Eagles at 6 to 12, like, a lot of reports, a lot of what I've watched on TV, especially on NFL Network, have said that the Eagles won that trade because Miami should have got a lot more from the Eagles because of that as well. So that compensation really wasn't fair.
Yeah,
but I think it's definitely a nice leverage move to have those extra picks next year. So I'm not seeing those 3 picks being picked in the draft next year. Like, if we get away with having these 3 extra first round picks for next year, you use one of those first round picks to at least trade for you could trade for a player next year off someone else's roster, a young star or something. You could do something like that.
Yeah.
But 7 or 8 is very realistic. I don't think they have to give up a first. I think they could do it.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, what did they get? They got a first and a third or fourth, right? Was a first and a fourth this year?
Yeah.
For that. I think it was a first, the 12th and a fourth. So they got I'm sorry, a first next year and a fourth this year, plus, the switching picks. So if that's what they get at 6, let's say 7, okay, 7, they want a first round pick. You don't have to give up the 4th pick. But at 8, you're not giving up a first round pick. So I think you could get up to 8 with the third round pick, maybe even like a 3rd and a 5th next year, something like that. But I think you can do it. The only way it may be a problem is if a team like New England is trying to get up there to get a quarterback. Then you may have a problem. But other than that, I mean, I don't think it's impossible. Matter of fact, I think the Eagles are trying to move up. I think Dallas is going to try to move up.
Yeah,
I believe Dallas wants picks.
Even if you get even if you give up a couple of mid-round picks, like just say next year, you give it maybe 3 picks, maybe a couple mid-round picks for next year. You take one of those first-round picks next year, move back, and to get multiple mid-round picks. You know what I mean? So you could. It kind of covers them a little bit, you know what I mean? So that's having that security makes me feel a lot better about next year. And if they could get at least these first 2 picks of the draft, because it's how deep it is and what we need and good players on the board, I think this trade back would be worth it. If they trade up, then it's going to be even richer for us. So,
yeah. Joey says, wait a second, Philly. People go outside of Philly and succeed. So maybe Howie is drafting right and Doug just couldn't use them right. Well, I would say that's a fair argument. You see a guy like Rasul Douglas go and succeed. You see Sidney Jones go and have some success. So maybe that's true. Maybe, maybe it is that Doug can't develop talent. But the only thing I would say is this. You had the same problem late in Andy Reid's tenure when he took over and drafted guys like Danny Watkins. You had the same problem with Chip Kelly, which is why Chip Kelly got him put in the boiler room. And then you seem to have the same thing with Doug Pearson. One of the things in that article about Howie was that he changed his ways right after the Chip thing. But after he won a Super Bowl, he started to go right back into what was all the problems at the beginning. So, I mean, we're going to find out. We're going to find out because Nick Sirianni is supposed to be a good developer of talent. That's one of the reasons why they hired him, you know?
Yeah, and I think you can talk about Jonathan Gannon as well because he's developed corners really well when he was a cornerback coach for the Colts. So I think they brought a really good developing team. Shane Steichen, offensive coordinator, came from the Chargers. He's very good with quarterbacks. Brian Johnson, obviously, knows Jalen Hurts very well. Yep. And, there's a lot of developing, and most of these guys have been quarterback coaches, wide receiver coaches. They've been up and down the tree. So I think you're getting, you're not just getting perspective from each coach from one position. Like they know how everything works with positions they have coached as well. So, I think it's going to turn out for the best. I really do. I want to see what this whole team looks like. A different featured offense and defense with another a very young group getting younger. It's what it's about.
Yeah, I haven't seen Nick Sirianni coach a game, and I know he hasn't. But I don't know, man. He just makes me want to run through a wall, man. I love the guy.
Yeah. All of them. Yeah. Let me tell you something. Like, I don't think we disagree with any coach that was really hired with any of these guys. I don't think we've.
No, I'm okay with all of them.
Yeah, like what do you think of? What do you think of like Jonathan Gannon from what he's done with the Colts and how he's turned some of the careers around, like Xavier Rhodes, and what do you think he's going to bring to the table? What do you think our scheme is? How he's going to use linebackers, maybe kind of put them in coverage, or do you think we're going to see something a little different this year?
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's going to do scheme wise. I did read that he likes to blitz linebackers a little more. He likes to bring the blitz a little more, which to me, I don't think you can survive the NFL today without blitzing. So I like that, but I really, everything we hear is that he can develop defensive backs. And I mean, we have not been able to develop defensive backs at all. But I don't know. I mean, I'm curious to see what exactly he's going to do. But from everything I've heard, it sounds like a great pick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll see. Josh, thank you for super chat, man. He says, do you really think Smith could fall to 12 if we stay there with the Giants and the Cowboys ahead of us? Josh, thank you for super chat. I mean, let's think about this for a second. First 3 picks, quarterbacks, right? So let's say 3 quarterbacks go. I have a feeling that Atlanta spot is either going to be a quarterback. It's either going to be Atlanta or somebody like Denver trade up for a quarterback. So if you get 4 quarterbacks go, okay, then that pick with Cincinnati is really interesting because I still think they're going Penny Sewell. But I mean, I might be wrong, but I still say Penny Sewell, which means Chase and Pitts are there at 6. Now I would say Miami. Let's say they go Pitts, right? Then the whole key is that Detroit pick. If Detroit takes Devontae Smith or Waddle, I think that would make sense. You could see that. But if they don't pick either of those guys, I think they could fall to 12 because if you look at the rest of the teams, except for maybe the Giants, nobody really needs a receiver.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know why, but I think Devontae Smith goes to the Giants. I've been having that in my mind for a while. Oh. Like he could go right in there. And like if Sterling Shepard, like if him and Sterling Shepard have some type of competition in camp this year and beats them right out of it, because they're pretty deep. I mean, they got John Ross on there. Obviously, it's, low risk, high reward.
Yeah.
And then having Galladay there and, obviously Slayton's there. So, I mean, they have a good receiver core and adding, Smith to the mix would just make it's a luxury pick at the end of the day. It's not a needed pick that they have.
Right.
I mean, if they were smart as well, they could trade it back to get more picks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, it sounds like the latest rumors with Giants seem to be defensive line. So maybe they trade back and then take a Quiddy Pay or somebody like that. It's good. I can't wait till the draft. I'm so ready for this, man. Yeah. Chris Ding says, I feel like we should get a corner because we already have Watkins, Rager, Fulgham, Hightower. We need a corner. Slay is the only good one. We can get a wide receiver by trading up and get either Marshall or Bateman. No, a lot of people feel that way too. To me, I just want to be honest to my draft board. I keep saying this, teams put out their ratings and they have guys. I just have your rankings, like your top, whatever. And as guys come off the board, cross them off. And then whoever's the highest rated guy, draft them. If it's a corner, if it's a wide receiver, I don't care, because I think the Eagles need talent everywhere. Yeah. We're not like one player away and one position away. And if we draft that position, we have a shot. I think we just need top end talent. My opinion.
So if the Eagles if they're at 12 and you have Waddle and Smith on the board and J.C. Horn, and they pick J.C. Horn over two of those receivers, is it a failed first round?
As long as he was their highest guy. If he's their highest guy and they have him above Waddle and Smith, then that's fine. Now, my own personal rankings is I would go Waddle, and so I have Smith and Waddle ahead.
Right.
But it just depends. I don't know. I don't know what the Giants are going to do.
Nope.
Nope. Let's see. Here's an interesting question. Roy says, Philly and Joey, do you think there's any possibility that Ertz remains an Eagle for 2021 season? What do you think, Joey?
No, he's got a $12 million cap hit. He wants a new he's going to play out the rest of his contract for 8.5, and that's really it. He wants an extension. We've offered him 2 extensions already. It's Dallas Godert season. Nick Sirianni likes to use them tight ends, and we got to talk about that too, because Dallas Goedert's on the last year of his contract,
right.
So that's really important. And who's behind Dallas Godert as well? Are they going to bring in another free agent, tight end again, or whatever they're going to do? But I don't think he's here, guys. I think if they don't trade him before the draft, they don't trade him draft night, I think he just gets released post June and save that little over $4 million. It's a waste, but this is what they do. They hang on to players for too long. That's the problem.
I know they should have done it 2 years ago. When you draft guys, like when you take a Godert in the second round, in my opinion, you're supposed to be setting up the eventual replacement to Ertz. That's why you take him. So 2 years ago, they could have gotten a ton for him. I personally think he's going to get moved on draft night. I feel like a lot of the positioning with Ertz right now is teams positioning. The Eagles don't want to give an inch. Other teams don't want to. And if I'm the Eagles, what I'm hoping is that some of these tight ends go, early or in the second round, Pitts and then whoever. And then teams are like, well, damn, we don't have a tight end now. We need a tight end. Let's trade for Ertz for a year. Something like that. That's what I would hope.
It's obviously not a strong market, because if they can't even get a 3rd or 4th round pick for him, then where are you going? Unfortunately, by the trade deadline last year, he was on IR, and you can't trade players on IR, so it was unfortunate. But they got it. I want to get something. I mean, at this point, I don't even care what it is. I think at draft night, you at least try to get rid of him.
Yeah, exactly. Almighty says, if we were to trade up, we would have to trade up with the Panthers so we could pick ahead of the Cowboys and the Giants. Yeah, I mean, I can't see you trading with the Giants or the Cowboys in that position. So it's got to be Denver, Carolina, and then I'd say maybe Detroit. Now, I'm telling you, if Jamar Chase or Pitts fell to 7, I am on the phone, dude. I'm on the phone. Not sure the Eagles will be, but I would be.
Right.
I mean, and I don't think, people keep saying, well, maybe they'll trade to 4. They're not trading to 4. They're not going to give up that many first-round picks, because it'll probably cost you at least 2. But anywhere from 7 to 9, I think they could make a move.
Yeah. Realistically,
And the reason why it's still valuable is because you're still keeping Miami's 2022 first-round pick. And therefore, you've only gone back a couple spots, in my opinion, It's gonna be interesting. DJ Scooter, man, shout out to you. He says they will use him to move up in the first 37. Ertz, I think he's talking about Ertz in the 37. Yeah, it could very well happen. Joey, you did a video on a proposal that I guess was put out there by ESPN or somebody, right?
Yeah.
Tell everybody about that trade. And then your proposal there.
So obviously this was just a made up trade, but this would be fair on both sides, that you would trade Zach Ertz and your 37th overall, your second round pick to the Buffalo Bills for their 30th overall. And I think that would be, I think that's fair on both sides, because honestly, the Bills are just moving a few spots back, and they have a loaded roster. They're going to contend next year. So really, like, yeah, the Eagles, depending what they do, obviously at 12, or if they move up for somebody, they could pretty much get another very valuable player with the 30th overall. So I wouldn't turn the draft off after 12. You kind of want to see if there's another move there for the Eagles to make, but I think it's definitely fair. And I think I think you'd give up a little bit more than that. I think the Eagles maybe throwing another pick or something, maybe something for this year, maybe something for next year. But I think, I think it would be perfect that the Bills at 30 is nice. I like it.
And 30 would be very interesting, because let's say the Eagles get to 30, you kind of start thinking about who's around, right? If you go a Horn or Surtain at 12, and then you trade back to 30, you may get a Marshall or a wide receiver like that sitting there right around there. So that would be pretty. I wouldn't mind that at all. I'm not gonna lie. If you gave me those guys, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
125, 850. Hell of a name. He said your podcast should be called Double Dingbat. Yes, 2 double Dingbats here. No question about it. Let's see. Let me see here. Or they could trade the 12th and Ertz and the 3rd to get to 7th or 8th. Yeah, Tyler, you could trade the 12th Ertz and a 3rd. I mean, because I think Carolina needs a tight end.
Yeah.
That you know what I mean? That quite possible. Quite possible. No question about it. What do you think? What do you think Dallas is going to do? Like, I mean, I know we don't talk a lot, but what do you think these other teams in the NFC, like, where do you think they go?
I think Dallas can go defensive line, or they can go corner. I think corner's been kind of, I think Patrick Surtain has been that target for them, which has been talked about a lot. That's where I think really they're going, or obviously the rumors of them going up for Pitts. Obviously, Jerry Jones could do whatever he wants. He's got all the power over there. So if they add Kyle Pitts to that offense on top of Dak Prescott coming back as quarterback, it could be pretty realistic. So that's why the Eagles need to jump on a phone call like very early, or try to at least.
Yeah. I believe Ertz is going. I think he's going draft night, and I think it's going to be something like you're talking about, where they jump up, so many spots. I think something like that will happen. Sylvan Son of the Living God says, "What's up, guys? Eagles should package Andre Dillard, Zach Ertz to the Jets for their late first round pick. Like, what did the Jets pick? It's like I want to say 23, maybe somewhere around there.
Yeah,
so, yeah. I mean, look." If they could do it, I'm all for it. What are your thoughts on the whole left tackle situation with Dillard and Mailata? What are your thoughts?
Mailata's definitely going to start at left tackle. I think he's earned it. I think he's going to earn it again in training camp this year. Dillard, obviously I can't put too much blame when he got drafted, because he pretty much got redshirted. Jason Peters in front of him, 3 starts, 1 at right tackle, blown confidence out the water. I don't think I wouldn't trade him, just because we really need that depth, and it's obviously, I don't know if he's going to be reliable, and then hopefully his body could hold up. But I would try at least cross-training Dillard a little bit, at least do something else with him on the left side, make it maybe a left guard, maybe try to put him at left guard as well. Let him know a little bit more, because he might be better at something else. I wouldn't give up on Dillard right now. I think early in the offseason there was like a rumored Dillard trade that was supposed to happen, maybe, but never happened. So, I mean, if you take Dillard out of the bunch, you really have no tackle depth right there besides Jack Driscoll. But I think most likely Driscoll's playing on the right side. So you got Nate Herbig with both guard spots, fantastic player that really showed a lot of good promise. And then, Dillard's the big question mark, but I think you really got to keep him.
You think he could play? You think he would be a decent guard?
I don't know. I mean, coming out of that draft, what was it? It was that he was the best pass blocking tackle in that draft.
I know.
So, but if he's having like 3 reps at camp and he pulls something, he can't even play the rest of the year. It's failed, and how long are they going to hold on to him? So I think they need him for depth purposes. I want to see if they actually draft somebody in the trenches this year, which most likely they probably will. I mean, you got to look at center too, because Kelsey could retire after this year, so that's a whole nother position you're going to have to look at, guys. Like you're really going to have to look at it too.
Yeah. There were some centers in last year's draft. I really wanted them to go after one, but they didn't.
So Cesar Ruiz was one center I liked last year, and I think he played at Michigan. And the Eagles met up with him, I think, 2 times last year.
Yeah,
never drafted him. The Saints, I think, drafted him as a center, but he's actually a starting guard now for them. So it's just
the kid from Temple too. I forget his name.
I forgot his name. I know you're talking about though.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Roy says, hey, Philly and Joey, wouldn't it be awesome to see Lurie fire Howie, make Daniel Jeremiah the new GM? He is a great talent evaluator. It would be similar to hire of Raiders and Mayock. I would love it, but I just don't know if Howie's going to give up them photos. Because he's got something on him. He has to, man.
I don't know.
OG Gillard is the Eagles Nation, man. Welcome to Dingbat Nation, buddy. Welcome to Dingbat Nation. Let's get you a wrench, my man. Thank you so much. Oh, you're already a mod. Look, you're halfway there, buddy. Well, welcome to Dingbat Nation, my man. Appreciate that. Let's see here. John Gill, thank you for the super chat, my man. Appreciate it. Ertz is coming off a rough year. Needs a fresh start. How many players Howie's going to piss off before time to go? All the quarterback rumors, I bet Hurts isn't loving him. Yeah, man. John Gill, thank you for super chat, man. Appreciate that. And, he does seem to piss a lot of guys off. I mean, you have Ertz. You have reports with Lane Johnson a few years ago. And obviously, Carson didn't even want to talk to the guy. Doug. Howie's a handful, man.
I think even that video we see, there was that video. I put up that video on my channel like last year. I think it was like Doug and Howie on the practice field. It looked like they were. It looked like an argument a little bit because I saw a lot of hand movement, and he was like fast hand movement. I don't know, but
it was like in October, right? Wasn't that like around
it was late in the year? I know
because I did see something where they were filmed arguing, and apparently what they said the argument was over was that he was coming down and demanding that Hurts gets more reps after Carson, and this was like after I think like week 2 or 3 that they were apparently doing it. John Gill, thank you for super chat, my man. Look, the Howie thing is hard for me to figure out, because like the one thing a lot of people think Sirianni is a yes man, and that the Eagles hired him to be a yes man, and maybe they did, but he's not a yes man. I mean, I think this guy, I love him.
Well, Philly, what are you taking a head coaching position? Are you taking a head coaching position if you're going to have no say in anything? Like, are you going to be that happy to be a new head coach to a team and you have no say at all?
No, I don't. I wouldn't. But Doug did, right? I mean, Doug didn't. What say did Doug have?
Doug was depressed.
I mean,
Doug looks so depressed this year. I'm telling you, like being a head coach to the Eagles, it's not an easy task because you're taking a lot from not even like radio shows, the fans. You're taking it from so many sides, and he tried. I mean, Doug, what he could do.
I mean, if you hear there are things where they're calling him in meetings, why'd you go for it here? Why'd you go for it there? Doug, I don't know.
Roseman want to fire Frank Reich after the 2016 season.
Yeah, he wanted to fire after 2016. Could you imagine? See, I do think that Howie Roseman, when he came back from the boiler room after Chip Kelly, was going to make sure nobody put him in that position again. So I do think he tries to get guys that he thinks maybe not yes men, maybe just that are going to go along with his structure. Okay. But I tell you what, Sirianni, I think he's going to outsmart Howie. I really think he's not the kind of guy that's going to go, you got to do this, Howie. I need this. You got to do this. I think he is going to be, he's going to make Howie think that Howie thought of it. You ever see the movie Inception?
Yes.
That's Nick Sirianni. It's his Inception. Me and Nick Sirianni are in Howie's dreams, right? And we're in his dreams, and we're double moonwalking his ass, and we've implanted that he's going to take Devontae Smith at 12 or trade up for Chase or Pitts. It's going to happen. I'm telling you.
It makes it so much easier when you go on NFL Network and you just see these mock drafts that make so much sense what they pick the Eagles at 12. With any player that's great on that draft board. But, like, I like to switch their positions. I like to see Howie Roseman go on NFL Network and do his own draft board for the Eagles and see how it would go. Like this, like I hate going to these drafts every year not knowing and we're just so worried about what's going to happen. It's just they have to come up with that formula. I'm hoping that Nick Sirianni is going to turn some heads in that front office, that this guy is an intellectual micromanaging coach that wants nothing less than perfection, that what he's going to get. So give the guy a chance, because that's why it makes no sense. How is he this happy? Does Nick Sirianni look like he's depressed, or he doesn't have enough control, or I don't know what the case is. Like, he's saying what they're telling him what to say at these press conferences. Oh, he's got control of the 53-man roster, and I decide who plays on game day. Yeah. And that's it's just so much more than that. It's just I feel like there's more than that.
I just think he can sell. I just think he's a salesman. This is just a gut reaction from what I get from what I see and what I hear of him. And I think that his approach, if he's smart with Howie, isn't going to be trying to tell Howie what to do, but trying to make Howie think that he's thinking, or he came up with an idea that was implanted in his mind. Inception. That's what I'm talking about, man. Eagle Slayer says only thing Chip did right was protein shakes. That is true. Nobody got hurt with Chip. That's the one thing. But yeah, I mean, I really like Nick Sirianni. I'm like, he's the thing I'm most excited about. And I do. I feel like Howie can't screw this draft up. Maybe he feels like his job is on the line. But if you ever watch Seinfeld?
Yeah, I have watched
All right.
it.
Do you ever see the episode where George realizes that everything he does is always wrong? So that the only way to change things is everything he would normally do, his instincts are to do, he does the opposite.
Right.
So he does, he said, I will never talk to that girl. So he goes and talks to her. She's like, what do you do for a living? He would lie. But this time he's like, I don't have a job. And it all starts to change. This is what Howie needs to do. Everything that he thinks is correct must be wrong, and he should just do the opposite. That's what Howie's draft strategy should be. I'm going to do the opposite of what I normally would do. You know what I mean? That's what I think. Spunky, man, thank you for the super chat. He says, will the Eagles finally move on from Peters this offseason? I know he's a free agent, but do you think the Eagles refuse to resign him? When you heard Peters, and thank you for the super chat, Spunky, again, man. But when you heard, I heard Peters talking, it was like Good Morning Football or something. He sounded like he was going to get signed by the Eagles. I hope they don't bring him back. I hope.
I'm telling you right now, like, if they take Dillard and Mailata's job away, and you know what's crazy? Like, his body just can't hold up anymore. Like, these defensive ends now are just, they have changed over time now. I forgot what game, the Bengals game, he was getting beat. I forgot by who it was, but he was just getting beat across his face. But it's done. This era is done. It's over with. New team, the youth movement is in Philadelphia. I don't care how much he wants to come back. It doesn't matter to me. Now, I heard the rumors, obviously, where he wanted to play guard, and I think the Eagles kind of forced him to left tackle, or did he want to play for left tackle? I don't know what the case was, but went up to the office and kind of, and they told him you're playing left tackle. Then obviously took more money from us on top of it, which didn't make any sense. But they got to move on, man. Don't tarnish your legacy. Right. Just don't do it.
You got to move on. I totally agree. He stole money last year. He said, I'm not playing left tackle. I'm not getting paid like that. He gets paid like he gets hurt. It's unbelievable. So we got 306 people here. I want to welcome you to the Jason Kelsey Lane Johnson podcast. Appreciate it. Click the link in the description. Sub up my man Lane Johnson here, because apparently that's who we are. Everybody tells me
all the time.
Yeah. Oh God, all the time. Let's see. Dash says, according to Lori, Howie's draft board is the best. They just get other teams. They just take about other teams, so he's forced to reach. Looking forward to seeing what happens again this year. Yeah, I don't know if you saw that. The press conference Lurie did at like the end of the year. And he was basically like, I don't hold Howie accountable because all the guys he tries to draft gets taken beforehand. I couldn't believe that I heard that. I was like, well, what about your second choice, your third choice? Like, you don't have a list to go on? That was unbelievable to me.
I mean, do you believe, like, from that 2017 draft, the only player that's still on this roster is Derek Barnett? Wow. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, that's just crazy.
And they're paying him $10 million this year. Jeez, man. Crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. Jolo says, hey, Joey, if Howie gets a good draft, does Lurie warrant him reward him a new contract, tell him thanks and move on from him? I think I don't think, like, based upon how Lurie is, doesn't seem like it would even matter. But if he has a good draft, I think they bring him back. Would it warrant it? I don't know.
I mean, look, he's not coaching the players. So, I mean, at this point, if he drafts really good players, and it's really up to the coaching staff. So how do you make that decision? Do you want him to have his hands on these 3 first-round picks next year? That's right. That's where it's going to come in.
Are you ready for the thumbnail of all thumbnails? The thumbnail got me in trouble.
What is it? It's back?
It's back. Tavares Jones, thank you for the chat. Just wanted to show my pig again. Thank you so much. I'm sure I will be shut down. Actually, they didn't shut you down for that. It was some kink in YouTube. But
yeah, it was. Yeah.
That is a funny man. That is funny cover, man. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. Which kinks isn't streaming? I know. It's crazy. Reese Scott says, what do you think about Caleb Farley, cornerback for the Birds, first round? Then we trade for Zach in a third, get back in the first round, and give up Dillard too. Okay, so trade. So we think about Farley for the Eagles in the first, then we trade for Zach in a third rounder. So we trade Ertz in a third round to get back in the first round and give up Dillard too. I couldn't take Farley at 12. I'm just saying, I couldn't take him at 12. With the back injuries and the injuries. Now he may be good, but I can't do it.
I don't trust it, period. I don't. Like, I'm not going to be that guy that's going to – I don't want this team – we can't afford to do these we can't afford to do these taking a chance on players. Like, I'm done with that. Like, we did it with Sidney Jones. Maybe it worked out for the Jaguars more than us, but I don't think he's going first. I just don't – I don't feel he's going to. They say he's going to, but – when it's an ankle, it's good. A groin, it's okay. But when it's the back, and when it goes to the back, the neck, forget about it. You never know what's going to happen.
I agree. That's why I have him. That's why he's not. That's why I have him third. I just don't trust injuries. And God, we do not need more players that are injury prone. I mean, we have enough of them. Let me get to this one first. 6 Bob says 500. We never had a better GM than Howie because he's the only GM that won a Super Bowl ring. Yeah, I mean, look, he won a ring. I don't know. I don't know if that was luck, if it was just that everything came together. But I can't just excuse him no matter what because of what he did in 2017. When you go out and sign a lot of free agents and you spend a lot of money, usually it's because you're not drafting well. He went out and got guys like Alshon, LeGarrette Blount. He got guys to mask the misses in the drafts
on cheap deals. Cheap deals. There really wasn't no expensive deal that year. Every free agent worked out. But this is the problem. This is why this franchise is failing, because there are rewarding players that haven't produced recently, but are paying them for what they did in the past. This is a consistent year-to-year basis with players. You cannot do that every year. You can't.
Absolutely. Jason Kelsey, thank you for the super chat. I still don't know where you got the long hair picture of me. But I love it. Pause. No doubt about it. Yeah. Let's see. Farley at 12, not at 12. What does that mean? Farley at 12. I don't understand. I'm too stupid.
Which one is it? Which one is it?
See, Joey says Farley is amazing. He's the best defensive. Whoa, okay. He's the best defensive player in the draft, but I wouldn't take him because of it. Wow, that's saying a lot. If you think he's the best defensive player in the draft, I like him, but the injuries scare me, man.
Yeah,
they just scare me.
Yeah.
You know, we can't afford that. We need to just go the safest pick. You know, Tavares Jones, thank you again. Safety first, as his picture says. We need to keep Ertz for one more year, so Hurts has a safety blanket. Safety first, right? Exactly. Thank you for super chat. I mean, if you keep Ertz one more year, here's what I wonder though. You keep Ertz one more year, his contract's up, he walks. How do you really know that Godert is the guy you're just going to give a ton of money to? I feel like in some ways Godert has got to go out and show he can stay healthy and fill in for Ertz before we give him a big contract.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like you'd have to, like, you can't. I think Goddard's got to have that starting job. It's just, this last year of his contract, he's got to show what he's got, and we just need to see what he has. I mean, I think we saw glimpses of it other than him getting hurt every 6 games. I mean, I think we've seen that a lot. But if you just bring Ertz in here, they're going to favor Ertz over Godert, and then Goddard's barely, he's going to have his chances, but you're not really going to see a full evaluation year from Godert being that starting tight end for the Eagles.
Yeah.
So.
No, I hear you. Zeke fan says 500. How do you feel if Dallas trades down to get Barmore and Horn? So, well, I guess you would take what? Take Horn at 10? Because I don't know how much further Horn's going to go, to be honest with you. Barmore is good. I mean, best defensive tackle in the first round. But, I mean, that would be good. I mean, that would help Dallas a lot because they definitely need defensive help.
Yep.
No question about it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
See, here's a question for you. Hey, 500 Joey, do you think we could draft a safety in the second round with guys hurt and no long-term potential safety outside of Kevon Wallace? Maybe. What do you think, Joey? Safety second?
I don't think so, just because I think they want to give Kevon Wallace that chance because, Rodney McLeod is probably going to be out with his injury still, either quarter of the year out or maybe half the season. So I think you really have to give, I think you got to give him a chance. Give Kevon Wallace a chance. I know you signed Adams, that safety that came from the Bucs as well. He's 28 years old. He's a reliable safety, but more of a special teamer. But he has started in games before. So you have that veteran backup as well. So I don't think a safety, maybe if you want to go later on, but I don't think it's something. I don't think it's something that we should be drafting in the second round. I think you need to give some chances, some guys, more evaluation.
Yeah. Alex Smith says the injuries scared us from DK, so why not go after Farley? Here's what I'll say. I have 2 things. One, I don't believe the Eagles passed on DK because of injuries. I think that's their excuse. Because if you watch the combine, the guy was tearing it up. Second thing, to get Farley, you probably have to draft him in the first round, right? So you would have to either trade back or take him at 12. When DK Metcalf was passed over, that was the second round pick you had. You already picked the first round pick. You already picked the second round pick. That was your second round pick. At that point, that's when you take a shot on a top talent like him. I mean, the Eagles weren't concerned with Sidney Jones and his injuries when they took him in the second round. I just think that they were going based upon analytics, and the analytics told them the umbrella man. That's what I think. But the main reason I would say, Alex, is because DK was a second round pick. Farley would be a first round pick, and you can't take that kind of chance, in my opinion, on a first rounder.
No.
Jason Kelly, I got the pick from an old Twitter post from 2019. I also saw the pick on Google when I searched your name, look and see. That's awesome. I love it. I love it. Thank you, buddy. And we got over 300 people here. Please please subscribe. And if you haven't, click the link in the description. Sub up my man, Joey Shakes. And look, this is our second podcast. This is our second episode. Next week's will be on Joey's channel. It's going to be a draft preview. We'll be doing draft preview because that's the one before the draft. And hopefully we'll be announcing the name of our podcast because right now we don't have a name.
Nope.
You don't have a name. We have some strong names though. No doubt about it. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of names, guys. A lot of names.
Yeah. So Kivo says, if Horn and Mac Jones is still on the board by 12, I'd trade back with New England for the 15th, 46th, 96th, a future 2022 second. Grab Horn with the 15th pick. All right, so if Horn and Mac Jones are still available on the board by 12, I mean, look, you're getting the 15th of 46, so you're getting a second, a second, a third, and so you're getting 2 seconds, a third, right? Basically.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's a lot of picks. I'm okay with that situation. The only question I would have is, will Horn be there?
Yeah,
because I wonder if a team like the Chargers don't snag him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they went down. I think they got rid of a veteran corner. I forgot who it was. I don't think he signed with anybody yet, but I know they're down some corners right now.
Yeah, exactly. Sharky's girl, is that really your girl? Sharky? Don't like how Howie fills gaps on the O-line instead of starting over. Yeah, I mean, I like when you draft young guys and you let them play and they develop within your system. It seems like a lot of times we're patching things up. Oh,
125850 said it was Casey Hayward. That's who they released from the Chargers. Casey
okay.
Hayward.
Yeah. Chargers could go. They could go corner, especially if a guy like Surtain or Horn is there. Now, who do you think's the better corner?
JC Horn by a mile.
Oh, you like Horn better than Surtain?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he can cover those twitchy receivers going downfield. I think he gets his hands on the football. He's a big body. I think for his size, he just moves so well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it doesn't, and I'm not saying that, I don't like Surtain at all, but Horn has just been the better part that I have liked. So
yeah. No, I like Surtain too, but it does scare me with those speed wide receivers. How he does. I think Horn has the like perfect combination of what Surtain has and Farley. That's why I like him.
And look who he's covered. He's covered all the best receivers as well. So it's a really good sign there.
You know who ate him up though?
Who did?
Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts ate him up. He's going to eat everybody up. He's a stud. Rob, man, welcome to Dingbat Superfans, my man. Welcome to Dingbat Superfans. I know you already got a wrench, but shout out to you, man. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Anthony says, I lost it. Horn is the best corner. I think so. I have him rated number 1.
Yep.
You know what I mean? No doubt about it. Joey says, here's why I think Farley's the best defensive player in the draft. He has everything you need in a corner. Man-to-man, zone, hand speed, super athletic, former wide receiver, everything. He ran a 4.24. He ran a 4.24? I don't know. Did he really? That's fast. I like Farley. I would have him possibly higher if it wasn't for the injuries. He had a non-contact ACL, right?
Right.
And then he's got these back issues that I just recently found out about. But I mean, look, hey, you could be right, Joey. You could be right. Tavares Jones, safety first. Thank you, buddy, for super chat. Trade Howie for a 7th round pick. Yeah, I hear you.
The pick is worth more. The pick is worth more.
The pick is worth more. That's hilarious. Let's see. Let's see what Eagles champ has to say. Philly 500 Joey Shakes. Eagles taking a defensive end 1st round because Howie loves defensive ends. We took Cox 12. Pick Howie. We'll take Barmore. They do like defensive linemen around this area. Cox was 12. Then Barnett was 14, and then Graham was like 13 or 14 too, something like that. So they do. That's why it would piss me off because I don't think they're going to be the best players on the board.
No.
But we'll see. You know what I mean? No question about it. Sharky says Fins are going to take the division. I hope not. I'm going to root for them to lose every game. If somehow they stunk this year and we could get like a top 10 pick with them, that would be amazing.
I think the Bills are the team to beat. I think the Bills are just so much better.
Yeah,
I think they're coached better. I just think the Miami, they spend a lot of money. Like they love spending money on free agents. Like they love spending it. I don't think they're good at developing. They don't really know how to use running backs either. They had Kenyon Drake. They stopped using him. Jordan Howard, another one. They had him in for a couple of games, stopped using him. So I don't know. It's gonna be. We need them to lose.
We need them to lose a lot. I'm gonna be streaming a lot of Dolphins this year. No doubt about it. Those back issues scare the hell out of me with Farley, especially with our medical staff in Philly. Yeah, I mean, that's true. Our medical staff has been suspect, and now he's going to have back injuries. Could you imagine a situation where, remember Carson, he had the back. They couldn't figure out what it was for like a month, Yeah, back scares me. No question about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Eagle Slayer, man, thank you for the super chat. You should make that PFP your new fathead in your background. Which one is it? What is he talking about?
Probably your new logo or your logo. Maybe that's what he's talking about.
Oh, okay. Maybe I got a whole new setup coming. It'll be interesting. Thank you, Eagle Slayer, for the super chat. Appreciate that, man. See, Isaiah says he's hearing since he's taking. Everybody keeps saying since he's taking Chase. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. Don't you need to protect Burrow? Didn't he just tear his ACL? I don't understand.
You would think, right?
Yeah, you did. You would, Philly Elite, from a scale of 1 to 10, how much confidence do you have in Howie that he'll hit this draft? I don't see. That's very hard because I don't trust Howie, but I just feel like I don't trust him logically, but my gut feeling is that Sirianni is going to make an impact on him, and that he's going to influence. I think he's going to make Howie Roseman think that he came up with the idea to draft Devontae Smith or whatever it is. I believe in inception. That's what I believe. Howie by himself, not much, but his ass is on the line though.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? 1 to 10, I have 5. I'd say. What about you?
I was gonna say 6.
Yeah. It's tough. Kiva says, I hope the Dolphins are trash. Me too. And Carson plays 75%, and the Colts still suck. So we could hopefully get two top 15 and under picks next year. Top of our pick, that would be crazy. It would be. But let's say the Colts are out of the playoffs, right? And he's played like 72% of his season.
No, they're gonna pull.
They're gonna pull him, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
He's gonna get hurt with like a pinky toe or something. You know what I mean? Now, which king of our that? Now you're talking. Now you're talking. I'm in love with JOK. I love the guy.
Realistically, where do you think he's gonna go though?
I think between 14 and 20. I think right in that area. Unfortunately, it looks like Washington and most mock drafts are taking him.
I'm telling you.
I see. Like there's like players that you just love.
Yeah.
And he is one of them. I think he's a piece you build your whole defense around. Like if the Eagles took him at 12, it may be too high, but I wouldn't be mad.
Yep.
I like him that much. I want to find a way to get him. Like I want to get Devontae Smith or one of those offensive guys, and I want to come back for JOK. And the reason why I think it's worth it, because let's say you have to go up to 19 or 18 to get him. You have to give up your, you draft at 12, then you have to give up your 37th pick. You probably have to give up a first-round pick next year, and then maybe something else. But I would do it because, like you said, Joey, you're not picking 3 first-round picks next year, right? And secondly, I look at that guy as a centerpiece to my defense for the next 7-8 years. So why not do it?
Yeah, I think you have to. I mean, at this point, if you have those 2, I think if you have those 3 first-round picks, like you said, you're not going to be picking. It'd be really dumb to even do that. Like, I think you just either use one of those first rounders for this year, or you go next year and make a big trade next year, make a nice little splash, kind of reward ourselves with a good player next year. Why not?
Absolutely. Chazzy says JOK will be the first linebacker off the board. That's crazy. He might be because you keep hearing about trouble with Parsons and things like that. He could be. Look, here's a perfect scenario that I would love. If the Eagles drafted JOK at 12 and then trade up or did that Ertz trade, right? So they draft JOK at 12. Then you trade Ertz in that 37th pick with Buffalo. And then you take a guy like Terrence Marshall or something. That would be a perfect draft for me. No question about it. Like, I would love that.
Yep.
Matter of fact, let's get Howie on the phone. Let's tell him to do it. Somebody call this guy. Call this mother humper. Howie don't listen. He don't listen to my show. If he listened to my show, we'd have won 3 Super Bowls. Yeah, Chris B says it again. What's up, Philly? I heard the Bengals are going to go for Chase. What do you think? I think if they go for Chase, I think it screws us.
They're going to kill their quarterback. That's what they're going to do. They're going to make him an injury-prone quarterback. That's what's going to happen. He's going to get hit. He's going to be another Carson Wentz.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, he's going to get destroyed. Yeah. Penny Sewell's 20 years old, didn't give up a sack. I mean, why would you not get that guy? But if they get Jamar Chase, then it's going to make Devontae Smith go earlier than we think. That's what I think is going to happen. So I think it could screw us over. It's hard for me to believe that, though. Yeah, no. It is. It really is. See, if JOK is the first linebacker drafted, Parsons will fall because JOK is not going top 14. Well, I'll tell you what, even if Parsons falls in like the 20s, I'll trade up for him. I don't care.
Yeah, the only thing that's going to make Jock get drafted a little earlier is because of his coverage skills. I think that's what's going to take it over the cake. His coverage skills and he's take a lot of pride in that as well. And it's going to take over, with Parsons. I'm not saying Parsons is a bad player, but I think you're just getting more of a balanced linebacker with a more of an edge and pretty violent on the field. I mean, obviously
he don't play like 214 pounds. No. He doesn't. OG Giller says, give up a first next year and 2 picks this year to move up between 4 and 8 and keep our 12. I don't think you could do that without giving up the 12. You'd have to give up like 2 or 3 first round picks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you have. There's no scenario that I see trading in the top 10 that you don't give up that 12th pick. But you don't have to give up more than that, and you get to keep the pick Miami gave you. That's what I think. Spunky, my man, thank you for super chat. And everybody, go sub up Spunky 1991 if you haven't. He does videos. He's a great Eagles content creator. I love seeing him. He's awesome. He's the man. Sub him up. Spunky 1991 says Philly Shakes 500 podcast, or drop the 500 and possibly call it Philly Shakes podcast. It's not bad. We'll have to enter you in the contest, my man. I have seen that one though.
A lot. That one's come up a lot.
I've seen Philly Shakes Joey. That was one today. No question about it, man. But thank you for the super chat. Let's see here. Robert Dredden, thank you for the super chat. He says, what's up, fellas? Not to be off topic, but got the news we lost another hip-hop legend. Black Rob just passed away. He used to be signed.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know that.
Wow. Yeah, I used to listen to him. That's crazy.
A lot of people dying lately. It's crazy, man. That's crazy. Yeah, rest in peace.
And to go off topic, like, because DMX is from Mount Vernon, which Mount Vernon is like not even 30 minutes away from my house. I've been in Mount Vernon before, and they had a huge thing for him in the city. So
horrible, man. A lot of death. I hate death. That's crazy. But yeah, rest in peace. No doubt about it. Here's an interesting question. Bleeding Green from Texas says, if Hurts was in this draft, where would he be ranked with this quarterback class? That is really interesting. Man, I don't know. I mean, because they say this is a really deep class, right? So is this class better than last year's class? He was a second-round pick last year. Do
you think he's better than Trey Lance and Justin Fields?
I think he can be. I think it's too early for us to say.
Right.
But I think he can definitely be. But I need to see it. You know what I mean? So I mean, I don't. I would say he'd have to be the third best quarterback in this draft. If I'm just throwing it out there, I might be wrong, but I believe in Jalen Hurts. I know there's a lot of people that just don't think he's going to be good, but from what I saw of him, the positives I saw of him, I think he has something, and I think he deserves that chance to play. You know what I mean?
What are the negatives of Jalen Hurts you saw with those 4 games?
I think it was one. I just think it was a lot of experience, right? I think he hasn't played a lot. I think he can become better thrower in the passing game. I know when I say passing, I don't mean arm. I think his arm strength is fine. I think this whole he can't throw the ball, I think is bullcrap. I just think that he has to play more. I thought that the Dallas game, he looked like a little bit lost. And he should have been able to tear that defense up because they stink, But I think that just learning the game, maybe mechanics and those kind of things through the passing game. But anybody who says he doesn't have a good enough arm, I don't agree with. Well, what about you?
Well, and Doug's playbook didn't help either because now it's just pretty much made after game after game. I thought. The Saints game, I thought more, he didn't have Drew Brees in the game. And obviously he did more running than throwing in that game. Him and Miles Sanders had 100 plus apiece. But I think that Cardinals game was where he was throwing more in the pocket. He was, he was looking at his reads. He was scrambling when he had to. And then, he fumbled the ball a few times, running outside of the pocket while throwing, across his waist or whatever, turning his hips. He kind of was struggling with that a little bit. And then that Cowboys game, and then seeing the video of how many receivers were open on a lot of plays where he was being undecisive. He was running too early. He wasn't being patient in the pocket. Yeah. He was just using his legs too early. So, and plus, when you get thrown in there like that, how much practice has he's had with these receivers, chemistry, all that comes into effect.
And no off season, right? No off season, no rookie camp, no preseason. I think the biggest thing is he just needs to play. He just needs to play, work on his mechanics, those kind of things. I think, I think his arm is fine. I think his arm's fine. He threw a big bomb to Deshaun. His arm's fine. He just needs to play, and then we'll see. What I like about him, though, more than anything, is I think he's cool under pressure. Like, I don't think he gets rattled. Right. I think he's a natural leader, and I think he has a lot of upside. I think he's very good at the things I think you can't teach. You know what I mean? The things he needs to work on, I think they just come with playing. In my opinion.
Yeah, even like the time when he rolled out of the pocket, he lost the ball, he picked it back up and threw it to Dallas Goedert, just having that poise that he's not going to give up on a play and not just sit there and take the sack, which I do like as well. So he'll do anything he can to get that first down, but the play is going to be alive. And obviously if these receivers could work with him, if they draft a really good one this year and, with his skill set of just, scrambling and keeping the play alive, you're going to see some big explosive plays, and that's what Sirianni's looking for.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. So. I always look at the rookie year as like the starting point. Like, that's where guys starting. Now, can he develop? I'm not ready to I'm not going to give Jalen Hurts the keys to the franchise yet. He's got to go out and consistently do it. But he's got a lot of upside. No doubt about it. And look, you said this in previous streams. The quickest way for the Eagles to become Super Bowl contenders again is for Jalen Hurts to be the guy.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the quickest way. Otherwise, you got to start over. You got to draft a quarterback, and it's a whole process. You know what I mean? Yeah. Basic Eagle, thank you so much for Super Chat. He says, Hurts will prove everyone wrong. He is dedicated to his craft, hardworking all season. Everywhere he went, he always excelled. I agree. I'm with you. I agree. That's why I think the Eagles are going to compete for this division. You know what I mean?
Yeah, even working in the offseason with Quincy Avery, a quarterback specialist, and kind of working on his mechanics, just working on the little things he should improve. That this is what we should have saw Carson Wentz going into his 5th year. Right. Even though this offense, you could tell me, even I'm not to go back on the Carson Wentz stuff, but just talk about quarterbacks in general. But even when you talk about the coaching staff and just getting them prepared for these games, like But Carson Wentz and just, if you don't have those mechanics right, you can't even throw the football the right direction. You can't even, if you're throwing a screen pass, you got to hit him right in the helmet. You can't be throwing the ball behind the line. You know what I mean? It's just, you got to work on the small things because that's what's really going to make a huge difference.
Exactly.
Exactly.
The Black Line, my man, he says, I like the fact that he's going to move the ball no matter what. We were really stagnant until he came in. We were. I mean, we were very stagnant. And even when he came in, what was it, the half against Baltimore, he came in for like a series. All of a sudden, the offense started moving the ball, Hurts makes – he's pretty decisive. I like when he decides to go, he goes. He doesn't sit there and wait, he goes. And I think he's cool under pressure. So I'm really interested to see what he does this year. You know what I mean?
Here's what I don't get either. Why did they if they're going to put Hurts in even the Baltimore game where he was getting those first downs, he was kind of just, Doug wanted to give a little bit of, some excitement and kind of get it, get some confidence in the guys. But why'd you keep Carson Wentz as a receiver on the side? Why don't you just take him off the field and put in a receiver?
I don't know.
What? Yeah. Why did you? What? It's a waste. Like, is he a threat? He's not.
No. He was fat. He was
not Taysom Hill. Who is he?
Carson looked like he ate himself last year. You know what I mean? He was fat. The only thing Carson was running to was donuts on the sideline. He was too heavy. He couldn't move, and then you put him a receiver. It's just like I remember watching games going, I just don't understand why you would do that. You're just taking a weapon off the field. But I mean that's kind of what was wrong with Doug, though. You know what I mean? Like remember when they got what was the kid? I can't remember. Golden Tate. And they were like, we don't know how to use him.
They used him as a third down. They used him as a third down receiver. That's all they used him for. Like third round pick.
Yep.
You trade a third round pick away for that? It might grow. Oh my God. I'm telling you.
He stunk. I mean, one thing's how he wanted to get rid of him. I did agree with that.
Here's another thing. What is with and talk about the coaching staff in general? Because these things just keep popping up. Because now I'm remembering everything now. So
now you're getting pissed.
Now I'm getting a little mad. So what happens is, why is Kevin Fajol the linebacker coach said he was going to retire and then gets a job somewhere else? I forgot what team he went to. He got a job. Jim Schwartz. I'm taking the year off. Yep. He gets a job. What I feel like they made excuses for them to leave.
Yeah,
they made these excuses, and then finally, once they were out, they this. I don't know.
There's a lot of weird things going on. I mean, I still have answers about the whole car. I just don't even understand what happened. It just. A lot of dysfunction. There just is.
Doug saying Carson Walsh and Mike Rowe are coming back, and then not even the next day, and they were gone.
I know
it's crazy.
And then it's just crazy. You're right. Sylvan says, "Everyone, thank you for tuning in to Philly Shakes podcast with 500 and Joe." Yes, thank you, buddy. I like that. Thank you. So let's do about 5 more minutes, Joey. It's getting late. We appreciate you guys being here. If you haven't, click the link in the description. Go sub up my man Joey Shakes. Next week, the podcast with no name will be getting a name. It will be getting a name. We're going to have somebody. We're going to figure out the name. We're going to see who wins, and we're going to announce it. And we're also going to have the draft preview show. Anything you guys want specifically might want to do during the draft preview show, let us know. Because it's going to be big time. Tensions are going to be running high. We have to hit our picks. Biggest draft in years, Joey. Biggest drafts. You know, we can't screw it up. You know what I mean?
So a few people have asked me already of how we're going to, since we're doing the podcast every single week. So what's going to change during the season? How we're going to do things? I mean, we haven't talked about that yet. I saw someone say it here, and I had a few messages the other day about it. So we're obviously the season's not here yet, so we're still going to figure out the kinks to that. But obviously the schedule is going to change a little bit. We're going to add in some more things to do. So
yeah. I mean, we'll have to talk about it. This is just the beginning. We're gonna expand this thing. And we're gonna give the people what they want. Exactly. Is what we're gonna do. You know what I mean? Name it Philly Special. That's not bad. Not bad. Great view of him working with Paul. I missed that. I don't know who you're talking about. Let's see here. So y'all gonna have a linebacker on draft night? Might. We'll see. I mean, it's very hard for me to imagine the Eagles taking a linebacker in the first round because they never do it. But the guy I want to build my defense around is going to go in the first round, and that would be one JOK because I love him.
I know it's hard. It's tough. That first round is tough.
It is. This seems like a really deep first round, though, doesn't it? It seems like a deep first round. This is the other reason why I want to trade up, because you don't know next year how deep that draft is going to be. I mean, you just don't know. So if you get a guy like a JOK, somebody like a Terrence Martin, if they're sitting there, why not trade up? In my opinion, my gut feeling tells me that they're going to be very aggressive in this draft. Yeah. That they sat by all season, really quiet. We really didn't do anything, and they're going to make their mark. That's what I think. Skid marks. I mean, look at this guy.
Oh my God!
Thank you for the donation, buddy. But I think you should have bought new underwear with it.
Yeah, maybe a new pair would help.
Yes. Liam says he just subbed to Joey's channel. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that.
Appreciate it, Liam. Much appreciated, man.
Yes. Go sub up Joey Shakes. You guys will not be disappointed. You know what I mean? Oh, I like this. Let's see. Britney Spears. Philly 500. Name the show Fat Boys, Phillies, and 500 Shakes. Boom. Pay me for residuals. That's a great name for a show. Philly Fat Boys, Phillies, and 500. Dude, I like it. That is pretty good. I could totally get down with that. That would be a great shirt. I like it. We might have to, Britney Spears. We might have to. That's hilarious.
Look at that one.
Which one?
Puthia E. Took a lot of time.
What the hell does it say?
It says hit the like button. Yeah, that's awesome.
How do you do that, dude? You have to speak like computer? That's awesome. Hit the like button. I can't even see where it says like.
Yeah, actually, no, I don't see it. I just say hit and then I see button at the bottom. Yeah, I can't see it.
What's the other one say? Hit the. Is that subscribe? That's wild.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't tell.
That's pretty cool. How do you guys do that? Like, is that what kids learn in school? Is that like computer language? That's hilarious. Howie would cry if someone told him a ghost story. I got one.
I got plenty of them.
That's hilarious. Yeah, this one I saw. Name your podcast Philly Cheese Shakes. You guys are awesome.
I've heard that one. I think it was Yeppa that came up with that one. That one's a really good one.
Yeah, that is a good one. Mr. International, Soul of the Eagles podcast. Thank you. We'll take that. Thank you. Let's see if I may be a Hawks fan, but 500. I mean, be a Hawks fan, but I like you doing well. Tubby, keep winning, and boom, bud. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I don't know what these things are saying.
Everybody's copying each other now. They're all copying and pasting it.
It's kind of cool looking though, really.
They probably took it off the internet, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know, but it's weird though.
It's kind of cool looking. I don't know what it means. Oh, here's a great question by Johnny. Who's worse, Kerry Williams or Nathan Gary?
Oh, Nathan Gary.
Nathan Gary.
Kerry Williams had
he had a few good years.
Kerry Williams had his moments. He definitely had his moments.
Nathan Gary ran the wrong way multiple times.
He's that picture. I love it.
I mean, he had no clue what was going on. He stunk, dude. Like Joey, I almost had a heart attack on the one stream. I lost it, dude. I was so mad. I can't stand him. I'm just glad he's in San Francisco. And everybody likes him. And everybody likes him now because they know that he drives me nuts.
Watch him be a Pro Bowler.
Will you be teaming up with any other content creators during the stream? I'm going to be on, and I'm going to give whoever wants it, like Joey, free access to come on at any time. We haven't really talked details, but yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to talk to Joey, see what he wants to do. for the draft. But I'll have an open channel if he wants, if somebody wants to come on.
Yeah, this doesn't mean either like we're not going to ever do like call-ins or anything like that, because we're definitely going to change it up instead of us just just talk about the Eagles, and we'll have call-ins and some other stuff too to make it more fun as well.
Call-in might be interesting, like next week, like a draft preview type thing. That could be. And we'll have to talk about it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to do. You know what I mean? Basically, my two favorite content makers, Fly Eagles Fly. Thank you, man.
Thanks, bro.
Appreciate that. See, bro, Nathan Gary got tossed from the U.S. My boy all the way on the West Coast now. Yeah, he got tossed cross country. He's in my neck of the woods. Apparently, there's a shortage on high heels. But that guy stinks. He runs like he's got high heels on. He does. 500 only football. Freaking Sixers are no football, no basketball too. I haven't had time to stream. A lot of time the Sixers play like 4:00 my time. I'm still at work, and then with all the moving and stuff like that, it's been hard. I will hopefully have that figured out soon once I get moved into the new house, which tomorrow. By the way, everybody, I'll be taking tomorrow off to finish moving, so you won't see me tomorrow, but you'll have me and Joey's beautiful face up here for 24 hours, so it'll be fun. When I saw Skidmark's avatar, I couldn't help but think of Bradley Fletcher in coverage. Yeah.
I will never forget that Dallas game. I will never forget that Dallas game at home against Des Bryant.
Yeah. Yep. Nate was just too slow. He also took like really bad angles. Like sometimes it looked like he was avoiding contact.
He was very undecisive. I think he was very undecisive too, because he would sit there and not know when to go in, make the tackle, take that angle. Like I think he was just very undecisive what he wanted to do.
There was a play in the Steeler game where it was like 3rd and 4 or something like that, and they threw to the receiver like out, and he was still behind the line of scrimmage. It was a forward pass, but he caught it like 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and he had him. He had him where he should have tackled him for loss. And he took this angle, and the guy just ran right by him. I lost it, dude. You can't deal with it. You know what I mean?
Click the next one. That's an interesting one. Nick.
Oh, which one?
Nick. Yeah. That's a hard one.
I would have to say you have to go Maxwell because he paid him more, right? They paid him a lot more.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be the shutdown corner from the Legion of Boom.
God. Julio almost had Julio had like over 200 yards on him.
It's
crazy.
I know. It is crazy. Why is Whiteside still here? I think the Eagles have a partnership with umbrellas. I don't know why. Because he's horrible.
Just give it time. Because he'll be out the door. He'll be on practice squad by the time the season's.
He's horrible. Yeah, he's horrible. Eagles say Nnamdi was worse. Yeah, Nnamdi was worse because he was like supposed to be the best corner in the league. And we were getting a surefire shutdown corner. And he stunk.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm so excited for draft night, but scared at the same time. Yeah, I know.
It's normal. It's a normal thing to feel.
Especially for the Eagles.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's crazy. It is crazy. Well, listen, guys, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for coming in, hanging out with us tonight on Saturday night. It was a lot of fun. Episode number 2. And we'll be doing next week. Will be episode 3. It'll be draft preview night. We'll be a week away from the draft. Cannot wait. It will be on Joey Shake's channel. You don't want to miss it. So if you guys haven't hit the like, hit the subscribe, click the link in the description, and sub up Lane Johnson. I mean Joey Shake 72. But also, guys, don't forget, submit your ideas for a name, because next week we're going to announce the winner, and you guys will win a prize. I got some interesting prizes for you guys, no doubt about it. But thank you, each and every one of you guys. Joey, man, thanks for joining me.
Man.
And here again, this was a blast as always with working with you. I always have fun time, and we'll see what happens this week. There's always something when it comes to the Eagles. No doubt about it.
Yeah, everybody enjoy your night, guys. Thank you for joining us on a Saturday night. Much appreciate everybody that comes in, takes time out of their Saturday night to come in. It means a lot to us.
Mods, you were awesome. Thank you to all the new channel members, the likes, the subscriptions, the super chats. You guys are awesome. We appreciate it. And with that said, we're gonna let you go. So take care. Talk to you later, and of course, don't be a dingbat. Peace.